So, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, just want to get started. The name is Kojo, aka Blockchain Kojo. And I want to start off by putting out this quick disclaimer, okay? Now, one thing we all understand that in this day and age and in this world, everything is a risk, especially with crypto. You're dealing with volatility, right? You're dealing with a market that is, very, very, very volatile, uncertain, and there's been a lot of bad actors in this space. Many of us know this. And so we are always very, very cautious. Do your research and any opportunity that is shared with you. My job here today is not to give you financial advice, but to just educate, share as much information that you can fact check to realize why this opportunity stands out different. We're going to talk about three different ecosystems, right? Or three different entities all coming together as one. The first is the exchange called Ju.com, established in 2013. They rebranded in 2024, right? They already have millions of users on their exchange. They have a thriving ecosystem, a very new ecosystem that is thriving. Let me put it that way. They have massive trading volumes. In fact, they do at least, from what we have seen so far, about $5 billion a day in trading volume. Some days 30 billion, some days a little bit higher in trading fees on their centralized exchange, Ju.com. Right? So they've already built trust. They have a lot of liquidity. When you go on CoinMarketCap, they have almost $500 million in liquidity reserves, funds that they own that they have put to back their ecosystem. They are very focused on security and compliance. Now, the next ecosystem we're going to talk about is their blockchain. Okay, so they launched a blockchain in actually it's just a year old, May of 2025, called the juchain. Now, this juchain, just like the Binance Smart Chain, needs users, a lot of wallets. They currently have less than 5 million compared to Binance's almost 400 million wallets. So what went on for them to start to look into other avenues? They said, look, we need members, we need users. How can we attract people in Web3? In Web3, the only way you attract customers, consumers, is by giving them rewards. You saw that with Bitcoin. They needed to penetrate the market. You go get a GPU and you can mine a token today. Many people didn't believe what it was worth. Today is worth almost $80,000. They gave away all of that. Had that been your Apple, your Microsoft, they would have given you nothing because that is Web 2. Companies keep all the money in the centralized projects. They control it, they own it, and they tell you what to do with your funds, right? So in the decentralized space, they understand that that is where they can build the most community trust. So they launched JBank.pro. JBank is the world's first decentralized self-custody banking protocol which is running on the same Olympus DAO style of project. For those of you that have heard this name, is because since 2021, when this project was launched, they have been paying rewards till today. Till this day, they are still paying. So a lot of crypto DeFi projects went to study and realized that this smart contract is not a money in, money out smart contract. It has layers and systems built in that ensure its long-term stability. But when you're dealing with volatile tokens, it can get very dicey. And that is where the Olympus DAO model does not hold so much. JBank has changed certain features in this system we're going to discuss that makes them a totally different opportunity. They are treasury backed and they allow us to earn through automatic compounding. Here we earn every 8 hours, not once a day, 3 times a day. Remember, we said this is self custody. You control your keys, you control your funds. You stake once and you earn everywhere. We'll introduce you to a way to spend crypto. They have a crypto Visa business card that you can access as a community member for free, and you can spend over almost about $500,000 a day on this card. They are partnered with a bank, a real bank that provides this service. We'll look into all of that. Okay, so here you can stake with as little as 5 JUP, right, which is your token. We'll go look at the charts. We'll look at all these things, folks, and you earn every 8 hours, right? You can stake definitely a lot more than this, but this is just the minimum, making this a global opportunity where anyone around the world can get started. Okay, so there is an opening in the market that I really want us to all look at. As trust in traditional finance declines, and folks is declining at a very rapid rate with the news we're receiving from these different projects that are all going down alone this year alone, right? So a lot of people are beginning to feel it, even though we say it year over year, right? Every year we say the same thing and jump into the same things, and the next year we say the same things and jump into the same things. But maybe it's time that people started to look at things with a different approach. This is a project built for trust and longevity. 100% funded, backed, created by an established exchange, been around for 13 years. That is one key feature. The next is the powerful one that we want: self custody. You control your activity. Number three is the transparency. We see all the data, money in, money out, nothing is being hidden. Ecosystem, we're going to look at all of the exchanges ecosystem being brought on chain so members of JBank can have access to. This is the opportunity we signed up for today. So let's dive into a few things that we can use to fact check most of this info that has been shared here on this presentation. So number one is the validity of this exchange. So Jucoin here rewrites the impossible. Go read this article, right? It explains everything they're doing, their mission, their vision. It tells you about their ecosystem, the fact that they are one of the only few exchanges that provides loss protection for futures traders, right? It's a lot you can learn about what they're doing here. And then you want to go here onto their blockchain, right? So real quick, we look at their blockchain called the juchain, right? Just the same way you have BSC chain, you have Ethereum chain, Solana chain, right? On Solana, you have to use Solana for gas fees. I've never heard someone said, let me use my Bitcoin to pay my fees on Solana. Why? Because Solana is its own network. When you come here, ladies and gentlemen, you are not using Ethereum or BNB or Tron to pay for fees. You're going to need your own token. It's called the JU token. So let's go on CoinMarketCap real quick. First of all, let's see what CoinMarketCap has to say about this exchange. In the last 24 hours alone, the trading volume on spot. Spot is when you buy and hold and sell a coin without any leverage. A lot of people were in a project. They said they were on an exchange. I said, how can I buy Bitcoin on the exchange? They said no. Can I buy Ethereum and Solana? They said no. What can I do? You can only do MLM and ROI. And I said, that's not an exchange. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call an exchange, where you can buy and sell tokens on spot. That's the first thing that identifies you on an exchange. The next is being able to get access to the derivatives markets and futures trading. But here you can see that not only did they have almost $2 billion in trading volume, they actually are sitting on crypto reserves owned by the exchange. CoinMarketCap would not put this information if they could not verify it. This is the wallet address of the exchange, and these are their tokens on chain, on the blockchain, almost $500 million. This is who we are working with, right? So they have their own token called the Jew token, right? As you can see, this token started off, went and peaked, right? In fact, I got a call many months ago by friends that trade futures. At the time, they said, look, there's this token. Everyone in Asia is calling it the next Binance. And I ignored that. I had a friend, he made multiple five figures trading this on leverage. Now, even had I gotten just on 16th of February alone and just held the token on spot, I'll be 10x in rewards, in profits. Folks, understand this. This ecosystem is now thriving. It's moving from a cycle of bottoming and going up. So you want to get into projects at this stage. You don't get into projects when you have dozens and dozens of people lining up telling you how much millions they have extracted from an ecosystem. You come in when you hear that the ecosystem is expanding. And that's what's going on with the Jew ecosystem. It's not saturated like your XRPs and your BNBs. This is now thriving. So this is the token we use for gas fee, okay? You can only find it on their exchange. That's the only place to buy it. Okay, that's the only place to buy it. Or on chain on their blockchain as well, right? So now real quick, we want to dive into the ecosystem. So we know they have a blockchain that is already live with a lot of features, right? They have anything from DeFi, so many stuff, exchanges, all that kind of stuff. JBank also here, okay? Infrastructure, they have that. They partner with many other crypto projects to provide infrastructure either for them or within their ecosystem. Launch pads, you can create your own coin, your own project is all here. Games, you can play games. They have it already. They do not have the users, only 4 million as compared to 400 million on BNB chain. And that brings us to JBank. Okay. Now, JBank, we are able to earn up to 2,500% APY. Folks, that's incredible when you understand these numbers. They give you all the data on their website. You can learn everything you need to know. In fact, you're going to need a link from someone who's already in this project so they can send you the full link to get connected, right? You can learn all about this. They are telling you everything you need to know. Now, real quick, I want us to look at the exchange, right? The exchange itself. Now, when you go on the exchange, they've done $9.59 billion in trading volume. The spot trading alone is about 2 billion. So we know they have futures trading. Right here, you can connect your own API robots to their exchange as well to trade. Right? This is for those that like to trade. We are not using the centralized exchange here in this opportunity we're going to talk about today, but this is who created it. It's what we want you to know. They already have technology. They are not looking for users' funds to build anything. Now, I want to come real quick right here on the new board. New board is where they have new opportunities that they present to their community on the exchange, like tokens, like platforms, smart contracts, ecosystems, and they let them get in first. Let's see the projects this exchange promoted. This is an Asian-based exchange when they started, so they have a lot of Asian-based projects that they promote. KSP, a staking protocol, they started off paying 7,500% APR. Origin LGNS, they promoted it when it first launched. It started paying off 7,961% APR. This project has been running for almost 3 years now, paying ROI. WebKey, they promoted it. Started off at 16,000% APR. Today, they are still paying rewards about 1,000%. Almost 2 years. Long-term staking projects. So they learned from all of this. They found out the flaws and they went and created JBank. Let's dive into it real quick. We've been here for a while, folks. This project actually was upgraded on 20th November 2025. It's only about 5 to 6 months old. They started as a pre-launch about 4 months earlier to this, where in Asia they tried out at 8,000%. They used the Olympus DAO model without the changes that they have today. This is the Olympus DAO model. When you buy the token of any project that's using this, it goes through a whole series of things. They have liquidity, reserves, treasury. They make sure any token you get is backed by real money. Okay, but they added some features because that model was not sustainable for the token. They saw the token not succeed. So they had to recreate the smart contract. On 20th November, they launched with what we have today and a new token called the JUP token. Folks, let's go into it. This JUP token, 6 months old, as you can see, 6 month old project, right? Started off at $12 because the people from the pre-sale, the pre-launch, right, where they were staking already had a ton of tokens and they sold and dumped and dumped and dumped and dumped. Why did it not crash? It stopped around $8.40. This is when we got in, around 23rd March. And since then, it's been going up. Just like any coin, it goes up but comes down to go up again because it's currently in a W shape. Those that trade will tell you what this means. Folks, we are getting in when the market is moving in an upward trend. That's when you want to get in, right? So this is your JUP token, which you can only purchase through the swap feature inside of the smart contract. So you have to get with the person that invited you. Okay. So let's dive into it, right? So now we know that users can stake and we earn a token called JUP, right? You can earn anywhere from 0.1% to 0.3% 3 times a day. So it's not, these are not the numbers. We're going to look at the numbers, right? You have three options when it comes to the staking. You have three options when it comes to the staking. Now, first option, they call it the flexible no lock staking. Here, users can decide to stake. Let's say you put in what $10,000 worth of tokens, their JUP tokens, you stake it. Anytime you want to take out your capital, you can take it. There is no lock. So in one day, 1 hour later, 1 month later, you can just click unstake, no fee, you take the whole thing. As far as profits, you earn profit 0.1% every 8 hours, 3 times a day. So you earn 0.3% a day in ROI. You can withdraw these profits every 8 hours or every day. This is a self-custody Web3 project. No one stops anyone from doing anything. Your wallet controls all your activity. So that's the most important thing. When you need your profits, you take your profits. And it's on chain. No website going off can stop that. Very, very important to know, right? Next is you have the option to compound. Now let's explain how the compounding works. When you get started, you have multiple wallets. The first one is where you stake. So we call this the staking wallet, ST. This is where your capital is. In this scenario, it earns 0.3% a day. Now, those profits go here into a profit wallet. We call it P. So they keep it separate so you can always claim your profits. Now, what the smart contract does is every 8 hours after you get paid, they calculate how much money is sitting in your profit wallet, how much money is sitting in your staking wallet, and they pay you the ROI on the total, not just the money staked. They pay the whole ROI on whatever profits you have plus your staking. So here you also earn 0.3%. And this happens automatically every 8 hours. You do not have to push any buttons here. So in a month, you earn 9.41%. 6 months later, that's if you didn't make any withdrawals because you wanted to grow and accumulate these rewards at a faster rate, you had 71%. And in a year, you've earned 200%. Let's just say call this 200%. So here we have an individual who starts off with $10,000 worth of tokens staked. Price stays the same in a year, they earn 20,000 in rewards. Option number one. Option number two, once again, you are in control, you choose. 180 days. You can decide to stake in a contract for 180 days where your staked principal, your capital, is locked in. and it will only be able to unstake, or this will be unlocked on day 181, where you would hit unstake and take the whole thing out with no fees. Okay, so that's how that works. 180 days is how long your crypto is locked. Just that, right? But here they are willing to reward you more because why? You're committing more to the network. You earn 0.2% every 8 hours, 3 times a day. So you actually earn 0.6% returns a day, every single day, 7 days a week. Now remember, this 0.6% is paid on your staking capital. Every 8 hours, they check to see, and when I say they, the smart contract, okay, the code checks to see what profits you have here and how much is staked, and they pay the ROI on the entire total. So here, your profits also earn 0.6%. You don't have to do anything. You just let it sit. As long as you haven't withdrawn profits from it, it will earn. If you withdraw today and there is no way for it to calculate today, you have to wait for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, if you have funds in there, it will pay you 0.6%. As long as there is funds there, whenever the timer hits and there is a dollar in there, it will pay you on that dollar. So that is the good thing we love here, right? You can take profits today and still it will compound for you the next day once there's profits in there. You can take profit this entire week and then say, you know what, I just want to let it compound for a week. It compounds for a week, and then you come in, you clean the whole thing out. And then you want to do it again for a month, and you clean the whole thing out. You choose your activity. So in 30 days, you've earned 19.7%. 6 months down the line, you have already earned 200% in rewards. You didn't even have to wait for the year. You've made 2 times what you invested. 10,000 becomes 20,000 in profits alone, while you still get to pull out the whole 10,000. In a year, folks, because of compounding, the eighth wonder, you are now at an 8x, 800 times what you started with. So in this same scenario, an individual starts with $10,000. They say, you know what? Let me see what happens in a year through compounding. $80,000 in profits, all in the token JUP. The last option, 365 days, 1 year. Here you earn the most. Why? You put in the most risk. You're staking your capital for a whole year, and you can only get your capital back on day 366. Right? And because of that, this network will reward you the most, 0.3% every 8 hours. So that means you earn 0.9% ROI every single day. Folks, this is the magic number most people are looking for. Anything that is really literally touching 1%. So we have something very attractive. Now, once again, when your profits accumulate, like your principal is earning you profits, your capital is earning you profits, right here, we know is at 0.9%. So that's good. In 30 days, if you withdraw every day, you will have earned 27% because 9 times 3 is 27. But if you didn't do that withdrawal and you just waited for the end of the month to do that, you are now at 30.9%. So compounding will always earn you way more than daily withdrawals. So we just want you guys to know that. 6 months down the line, only 6 months, you are at 400%. Now, here you are, 0.9% withdrawn every day for 6 months is not even close to this. But 0.9% compounded every single day for 6 months is 400 plus percent, meaning that the same individual who decides to get started in this 365-day staking with $10,000 in just 6 months can exit with profits of 40,000. Leave their 10K to continue the remaining few months and still make a ton than most will make in many platforms. This is what most platforms can pay you out in a year. You do this in 6 months, 400%. So now you take the most risk. You say, I'm gonna let it sit, let it ride for the whole year. You get the most rewards. 2,557%. What does that mean? This is a 25 time rewards. So you started off with $10,000 worth of tokens. You have now earned through staking 25 times the tokens. You had $250,000. So what is the principle behind what we are learning here today? That asset accumulation will always beat price appreciation. That's what we want to learn here today. When you are accumulating an asset at a rapid, at a fast rate, it gets to a point, the price of that asset does not matter. Someone said, but Coach, what do you mean by that? Price is very important. No, it's not. If you're accumulating an asset at a faster rate. I'll give you an example. Many years ago, when Bitcoin launched, let's just say even 3 years after it launched, you took your funds, $10,000, and you went to buy a Bitcoin mining GPU. You didn't go buy the tokens like everyone else was doing. You went and bought the GPU. And let's say you mined 10 Bitcoin a week for a while, and then the network slowed down, it got concentrated. And now today, you mine only 1 Bitcoin a year. Do you know that for all the years that you accumulated 10 Bitcoin a week, when you wake up and you want to sell your Bitcoin, you would care less what the price is. You would care less. You would care less if it was 80,000. You would care less if it was 20,000 a token, 40,000 a token. Because guess what? Even if you sell five of those tokens that you accumulated all those years, the next year you make one token again, and you keep making one token every year. And so because of this, the price never becomes an issue. It's only when you have bought coins and you cannot earn rewards from, and you're holding, that's when you look at the price every day like it owes you something. So, folks, when we accumulate this asset, would there be price volatility? Yes. Would that matter to us? I'll let you be the judge. I'll say no, but I'll let you be the judge, right? So let's say you waited, you put 10,000 in. A year later, you earned 2,500% rewards, $250,000 worth of tokens sitting in there. And then the day you decide to hit claim, right? What if, folks, because we all love what ifs. What if, let's go straight to the negative. What if it went down 50%? We saw the token already go from 12 to $8.40 in its biggest sell-off. It went down only 40%. It couldn't even go beyond that. But what if it went down 50? No problem. Divide your $250,000 by two. You are left with $125,000 worth of tokens. You can sell this easily for USDT. It's very liquid. This is what you earn. Folks, are you going to be sad that you invested $10,000? A year later, you came and you collected 125,000. I think not. But what if, right? What if, again, because you have the people that are pessimists, they can never believe anything good can happen to them. So what if, folks, what if it went down another 50%? 62,000 or around that, right? Dollars. So guess what happened? You had a token, right? You joined, everybody was excited. You put in $10,000, you accumulated it for a year, and then there was so much negativity. Oh, the world is this, the world is that, coins are this, and it just kept going down 50%. You didn't sell, you said it was going to go back up, and it dropped down another 50%. You walk away with $62,000 worth of tokens. You started with only 10 grand. Folks, when you accumulate an asset at a fast rate, the price almost becomes negligible. Almost. So this is what we are here. We are learning this now. While many people who are multi millionaires in crypto knew this from the beginning. And so when they bought their Bitcoins and their Ethereums and their Solanas, they went and staked it in the network to validate the network through different staking models and accumulated a ton of rewards and never looked at the price. While many of us held and waited to sell for a profit. Today we are learning what to do and what not to do. Okay, so this brings us to how we earn passively. Okay, so this is the time and when all these 8-hour rewards are calculated, you see everything in your back office. So now that you have earned your rewards, it's time to claim it. So in this project, 5 different mechanisms have been put in place to ensure that the token does not tank. I'm going to tell you why it's very important. And when we are done, we're going to compare this to other Olympus DAO type of projects. And you're going to see why just the name, holding the name of Olympus DAO, does not mean that you have created a system that is proof from token dumping. Because token dumping is the biggest thing in crypto. Even Bitcoin sees a dump. But Bitcoin, because of the market sentiment, it always bounces back. Whereas many tokens, once they go beyond that 50% threshold, the FUD prevents it from ever bouncing back, or if they don't have the right tokenomics in place, right? So let's look at this, right? So now mechanism number one here is that no whale or manipulator can buy the token from any other place except they come through the smart contract. That is our safeguard number one. Safeguard number two, your profits go into a separate wallet. We talked about it, called the profit wallet. So here you've earned about $2,000 worth of tokens. You say, you know what? I want to claim my profits. Folks, it's yours and no one can stop you. This is a smart contract. You hit claim. Two things happen, right? But it goes through a process. There's two options for claim. This is the process. The minute you hit claim, all this $2,100 leaves the wallet and comes to you because there's no middleman here. It goes straight to you. But there has to be a mechanism applied. Mechanism number two. There's a 25% withdrawal fee. So yes, they made you 2,500%, 400%. You're just gonna have to pay that little fee, 25%. Now this fee, unlike other platforms that it goes to the company and the owners and all that kind of stuff, no. Half of all those coins are destroyed, which reduces the supply. So the more being sold, the more being claimed in withdrawals, the faster in which the supply is reducing. You see the game here, right? Reduce supply and then now increase demand, cause the price to hold if it's going down, or cause it to go up when the market is pumping. And the other half stays in the system to keep it liquid. But all the liquidity, all the money stays. So for example, if the community withdraws $1 million a month in ROI profits, $250,000 stays in the ecosystem. For every million that is claimed, 250 stays. What do you think is going to happen? There's going to be so much liquidity. Then out of the liquidity that is saved, half of those coins are removed and destroyed. More liquid, less tokens. More liquidity, less tokens. This is the mechanism that ensures that we win. So most people are choosing this because it helps the system, and also we'll talk about the release. So after the 25% fee is applied, guess what happens? Right? You don't get the whole 2,176 minus the 25%, yes. But the whole thing doesn't hit your wallet at once. On that very day you hit claim, you receive a good portion of it. So that very day, you get portion number one, your first distribution of your profit that you claim. Day number two, you get the second distribution. So let's say day number one, you get maybe $150, right? And day number two, you get another $150. And day number three, you get another $150 till day number 20, where you have received the whole thing. This is the next mechanism applied within mechanism number two that prevents whales who are earning a ton also from dumping all at once to break the market consistency. Other projects do not have the system. So you go in, and that's why people will say, well, I don't like dealing with coins because it just goes to zero. Yes, because it was a money in, money out game. There was no mechanism, no system, nothing. Just you stake, you earn, you sell. You stake, you earn, you sell. And then everybody just sells and everything goes to zero. Not here, right? There's another option, but many people do not choose that option because if you can just take 20 slices of pizza, why would you want the same pie to be cut into 180 tiny slices to eat? Then it'll become like lasagna at that point, right? Or spaghetti. It's no longer pizza, right? So that is what this means. So I'll break it down to you real quick so you can understand how this works. So individuals here, let's say you stake $10,000. You decide to wait for the month because then it's bigger. The profit is bigger. So you earn $3,000, 30% in profit. Now you go and hit claim. Smart contract says there's a 25% fee, withdrawal fee. You say, no problem. That's cool. I made a lot anyway. Now you have $2,250 worth of JUP tokens. So you can tell somebody that your net profit is 22.5% every 30 days. That's if you're claiming your rewards every 30 days. And that's correct. You could easily say that. That's a good net profit, right? So now your $2,250 gets cut up into 20 slices. You go to the pizza store, you say, I want a large pizza. They say, yes, we'll give you a large pizza, but we want to cut it up in slices. Is that okay? You say, yes. They cut it up into 20 slices. And they tell you, please, when you go home, try to only eat one slice a day. That's it. No one is holding your money for 20 days. No one is keeping your money from you. The smart contract breaks it down into 20 slices and drops each slice into your lap, into your palm, into your wallet so you can withdraw it and sell. That's it. So every day you can sell it, you can hold it, you can stake it. You do whatever you choose to do. You would have got everything within that 20 days. Folks, real quick, I'm going to show you evidence in the charts of why this actually works and how you can see it work in real time. So here you can see so many people selling, right? Whatever they earn, they're selling. So this person did not want to sell 60 to $67. They probably withdrew a big sum, but only get 7.02 tokens released a day, $67 every day, a day that they can sell, as opposed to their 2,000 or 1,000. This person is selling $3.50 a day. Do you think that's what they want to sell? No, they probably just getting released $3.58 a day. And then when one buy comes in, it's a whole buy. It swallows up some cells. The chart can go red for many miles, but it's going to be just trickle amounts. Because when a buy comes in, the buys can outweigh all the sells. Try and see if we can find one good buy. One $200 buy can take away about five sales of $70 or $60, right? So then you see another one, maybe somewhere for, oh, you don't see any large sales now, but they'll keep coming. Anytime you have folks, just go look at the chart. There was a day we were doing it, there was $1,000 buy, and there was a $3,000 buy, and we could see so many sales, and none of them could add up to $1,000. So that is why our chart here is not the same as this chart, which is another competitor, right? They use the same Olympus DAO model, but their token went from $85 and it could never find its way back up. It's currently at $4 today. You see a difference in the system in place. And that is just mechanism number two. We have three more to go, okay? So, folks, this is why we chose JBank. Number one, trusted, built, and backed by an exchange that has the credibility. They've built trust for 13 years, right? Their token is not a pump and dump token. They will tell you themselves, this is the future payment token of the Jew ecosystem. An exchange with 50 million users trying to move everything on chain is telling you our token is the future payment token of this ecosystem, their blockchain, driving real use, real demand, and long-term value. And they tell you and I a big secret. They shouldn't have said this because once I read this, I understood that we all need to be here early. Early participation in JBank puts you at the heart of all of this. That's what the company said, right? And anyone can get started with as little as $50. So here you can build a global opportunity. Folks, when you look at this compensation plan, it is outrageous. It's very good. Very simple, but very good. So let's dive into it, right? Now, there's two rules that you have to know when it comes to commissions. Rule number one, if you do not stake, you do not earn commissions. So that's rule number one. Rule number two, commissions have an income cap. They put us at a 4x cap. This does not affect your staking profits. This is separate. It only has to do with commissions. But this is mechanism number three that prevents this token from being a pump and dump. This says that every time that, for example, you have one JUP staked in commission from your team, you can only earn four JUP. Else you have to go and stake more. If you want to earn commissions, you have to increase your staking in order to keep earning for commissions at a 4x rate. What does that mean? It means that when you have leaders, affiliates, earning $100,000 a month, right? $200,000 a month. Already there's one affiliate doing $150,000 a month. 7 months in this project, he's doing $150,000 a month, right? So if you have all these people withdrawing and putting nothing back, like all these other platforms, then what's going to happen? Crash. Here, 4x cap, mechanism number three, ensures that affiliates are contributing to the success of their own ecosystem so they can benefit. Right? So let's dive into the commission structure and the ranks. Now, here, everyone earns 10% from their directs. Just want to make that clear. You don't have to have any rank, but if you share this opportunity, whoever you share with your directs, when they earn profits every 8 hours, every day, you will receive 10% of it. So let's, for example, you share with me, I put in $10,000, I'm your direct. I earn, let's say, $100 a day. You get 10% of that $100 every day. So everyone earns from their directs, right? All the way. Now, the first rank is called a V1 rank. Now here, your entire team, no matter the levels deep, in this project, we earn through infinity. There is no 10 levels, there's no 20 levels, there's no 15 levels. You and I are earning commissions throughout infinity levels. Understand that. Now here, when your team provides a volume of $2,000 worth of tokens, you receive a 10% share of all the profits generated. So here in this example, $2,000 earns $20 a day. 10% is $2 every day, $60 a month. Folks, the reason why I love this project is when a lot of times, as affiliate marketers, we say, oh, I want people to win. I want my team to win. Folks, this has been designed for people who can even bring in only $2,000 in volume to receive recognition in a company, a project that is telling them we recognize your effort. Even though this number in any protocol, any platform, this is almost nothing, but we recognize your effort. And so they get recognized and they also earn from the compensation plan. No one is doing this for $2,000. Imagine how many people you can help, how many lives. Now let's do the math, right? $60 a month is good money in a lot of countries. It can pay a bill. In the US, that pays a phone bill. You go to Ghana, Nigeria, that pays a month's rent. You go to some countries in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, it pays a month's rent. You go to Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, some places it pays a month's rent. You can put people in position to pay rent, even if their network is not that of large volume. The next one is V2. V2, you have 10,000 in volume. You see, they're not talking about people, how 20 people, 10 directs, and all of that. You can do this with one direct, one team up to the first four ranks. We'll go into it. $10,000, you're at 20%. Think about it, how many people you can help. Let's say 10,000 earns $100 a day. 20%, $20 a day. Times 30, $600 a month. Folks, this is where everyone wins. Whether you're in the US, Canada, Caribbean, it doesn't matter. $600 a month, that is half of someone's mortgage, half of someone's rent. That is someone's car note plus maybe insurance. That is real lives being changed for only $10,000 in volume. Because this is a decentralized opportunity, if you have the funds yourself, you can strategically position another wallet under yourself with 10K and earn your own commissions. Remember, you get 10% of what your directs earn every day. So if this entire 10K is direct to you, that's $10 a day in profit. Plus the 20%, $20 a day in profit. You are at $30 a day. $30 a day times 30 days, $900 a month in commissions if you strategically position just $10,000. Folks, this is how we help a ton of people make money. V3, for just 20,000 in volume, you at 30% check match. Also, remember, everybody gets 10% of their direct, so we know that is there. Now, let's say this volume is not on your direct. So that's even how we calculate it. Just 20,000, 30%, that makes $200 a day. 30% is how much out of 200? $60 a day. $60 a day. Multiply that by 30 days. $1,800 a month. Strategically, again, an investor could just do this by themselves and make an extra $1,800 a month from just $20,000 in volume. That is someone's mortgage in Canada, US, Europe. Europe actually even 1,000 pays a lot of mortgages, right? They are struggling in Europe right now. People are begging for opportunities in France, Portugal. They need it. This is our chance, folks, to share this opportunity globally. The next is V4, 60,000 in volume. You add 40%. So once again, if 60,000 earns, for example, $600 a day, 40% is about $240. $240 times 30 days is over $5,000 a month. You put in 60,000 in volume, or as an investor who has the funds, you just put it direct to yourself. Just put all your money under yourself. And you earn $5,000 a month in commissions. Just the commissions. You can live off that and you can compound your stake to Valhalla, right? So this is what this unique opportunity provides here, folks. A way to build wealth is what we are saying. Right? Now, understand a few things, right? There's a few principles we have to understand. Now, the first one being that once you hit rank 3 and above, right, you activate a new bonus called new group sales staking. So let's say you put in 20,000 in volume. The next day you wake up, somebody adds 8,000, you're at 28,000. Now that 8,000 will earn, for example, $80 a day. They will pay you 5% on that $80 a day as a bonus to whatever you're getting from this, plus whatever you're getting from your directs. And then every rank it increases, okay? Now the next rank, V3, very important. Now, next thing, if someone has the same rank as you get 10% of what that person earns in rank bonuses. Okay. So now rank 5. Here you require 100,000 in volume and 2 teams. So now we know that this comp plan can be maxed out with just 2 direct teams. That's it, right? 2 teams. So I'm going to draw it out for you real quick. V3 here. So you put someone here. They don't hit the rank, but someone else below them hits the rank. Okay. That's here. You don't need your directs to rank up before you rank up. Anyone at all on any level in your team, anyone at all on any level deep in your team ranks up, you move to the next rank. Okay. So now we know this, but because it's uni level, you can go wide. Okay. So I want to show you guys something. In fact, if you're here and you're excited and you want to learn how you can earn over $15,000 a month with just 200,000 in volume, put a 7 in the chat. I want to see how many sevens we can get. And then I'm going to show you guys how with just $200,000 in volume, you could easily earn about $15,000 a month in commissions alone, right? So here, this is how this smart contract ecosystem works. What they say is that as you hit ranks, if there's anyone else at a rank, you don't get the full percentage from that person's team, whether it's rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4. So let's look at this, right? You have V5, call it 5, right? 5, V5. Now you have a V3. Let's say this V3 is 20,000. Let's say they just have 40,000 in volume and what, $400 a day or something, right? Use that example. You don't get the whole 50% on that $400 a day coming here. You get 50 minus 30, 20%, the difference. So on that, you could get like $80, right? So you're earning $80 a day from that leg. Now here, they bring in 60,000. So let's say $600, dollars a day. They add 40%, but you don't get the 50%. You get 50 minus 40, 10%. So now you add $60 a day. Then some of it came from your directs, right? Some of this whole 100,000 came from your directs. So let's just say even if it was 20,000, right? Or 10,000. So you earn like an extra $20. Let's call it $20 a day from your directs. You put all of this together, folks, you have $160. So you could be a rank 5 with exactly 100,000 in volume and earn about $160 a day. $160 a day. Hear me, folks. Hear me. Times 30 days, it's $4,800 a month. Folks, that's not bad. For $100,000 in volume, you can earn about $4,800 a month. This is not a one-time bonus. I know many projects where when you do 100,000 in sales, your one-time commission bonus is anywhere from 2 grand to 5 grand, and that's it. It's done. There's nothing else to collect. And even if they pay you rewards daily, you're probably getting like 1,000 to 2 grand a month from those passive rewards. Folks, you're making $4,800 every month, over $50,000 a year in commissions, retirement money from just 100,000 in volume. Now you go wide, right? Let's say you go wide. You put some friends, some investors here, some partners. They say, you know what? I've been burned. I don't want to build. I just want to put my money and earn. Oh, I don't know anyone who want to take a risk. I'll risk myself. Oh, I don't know anyone. This is my first time doing this. I'm an investor. Whatever they say, investors, right? Now let's just say your investors put in on the side here 100,000 in volume. So now you have 200 in total, right? So now we get into those that ask for that for the answer. Okay, this 100,000 earns what? Let's say 1,000 a day, right? Use that 1%, 1,000 a day. Now every day you get 50%. You heard me right. 50% of the daily ROI. Why? They have no rank and they're earning profits. You get the whole thing. What's 50% of 1,000 a day? 500 every day. So now add $500 to your 160 that you earn every day. And what does that put you at? Right? 500 plus 160 a day. You're at $660 a day. Now I want somebody to do me a favor and multiply 660 by 30. I want somebody to do us the favor and please multiply $660 by 30 days and please give us the answer. 19,800. $19,800 is what you will earn every month in commissions if you have this structure in this project for $200,000 in volume. When I saw this, I knew I had to tell every single person that I've been in business with because, folks, this is how we make back everything we've lost. For just 200,000 in team volume. Now, let's say you multiply this by the 25%, the fee, right? The withdrawal fee. So now you have 75% left. That leaves you with $14,850. So, folks, we just told you how you can earn $15,000 a month with just 200,000 in volume. Incredible, right? Now remember, the 4x, yes, Laurie says this is insane. I believe so. In fact, we know this for a fact because we are already seeing these kind of things happen in our structure, right? This is huge. So you have a lot of people who can earn at a very fast rate. So your entire community becomes risk-free, and that's what is important to us, right? Because we can't guarantee anything, but if we can get everyone risk-free at a faster rate, then we have a winner. And with all the backing this project has, of course, we can tell it's going to be long term, but we're still not going to make any guarantees. Right? So these ranks keep going, right? V6, V7, V8, it keeps going. V10, 4 million, just 4 million in volume. Folks, do you want me to do the numbers on what 4 million in volume will earn you? Put a 4 in the chat. If you want to do the numbers, because I know there's a lot of leaders here who can do 4 million in volume in less than 6 months. People want to know, right? People put a 4 in the chat. If you want to know what 4 million can earn you as an affiliate, you can put a 4 in the chat, right? Because here your check match is at 100%. Your check match is at 100%. You need one V9 and one V8. Doesn't have to be your directs. It could be any level in your organization. But we're going to do the numbers. We are going to do the numbers, okay, folks? In fact, let's go right here where we can actually look at these numbers. So there's a section here which is called income projection. And we know that V10, right, 4 million. Now, folks, remember that everything you see here, nothing here is guaranteed. I'm not telling you that just because you join, you're going to make this. If you do not put in the work required, you would not have the same results. That's factor number one. Number two, all of this is dependent on the price of this token staying the same. We have seen this token going up. So you could easily earn double all of this at a faster rate. And if it comes down, you can either hold and sell at the price you want, but we know it's going up and down because of mechanisms. We have shared three mechanisms. We have two left to prevent the coin from dumping. We have showed you three mechanisms. Now let's get into this projection, right? So here, same thing. You build a team, right? One here, two here, three here. Everybody here is wide. Let's say, it's 6 months down the line, you build a team of like 20 people wide, 30 people wide, right? Think about it. It's very possible. Very, very possible. Then you have, put a thing here, put another arrow here. Then you have V8, and then you have a V9, right? So you have V10, 4 million in volume. You have a team wide. So let's just say the whole 4 million is here, right? So your team does what they have to do, you hit the rank. And then you have like 500,000, just 500,000 wide. Out of the 4 million in the network, you only put investors wide 500 grand, just 500 grand. Okay, so off the network, let's just say here is V8, right? So V8 brings in maybe out of the 4 million, 1.5. So 1.5, they earn 15,000 a day. 15,000 a day, you just get, for example, 20% of that, right? Oh, 20%. I don't know what I was doing. 20% times. So that's 3 grand a day, right? So let's just say that's 3 grand a day. So you're doing 3 grand a day here. And then you do maybe 1,500, right? Or 2,000 a day on the V9 side. And then you put 500K here. And all investors, they never rank up. 5,000 a day, they earn 5 grand every day, right? 5 grand a day. So you get 100%, 100% check match. Yeah, V10, 100% check match. So now you earn 5K extra. So we put all together 8,000, 9,500, $9,500 a day. Let's multiply that by 30 days and see what kind of numbers that could be. $285,000 a month. V10. And I'm probably just roughly doing this in a way that it doesn't really even show us the numbers. So there's folks that with 4 million in volume are going to make $300,000 every month. The more equity you have wide, 500,000 a month is very possible. A million is possible. V10 plus, this is the kind of numbers you can achieve. Now, why do I know this works? And why am I so confident that people will earn these kind of numbers? The two competitors, which is Origin LGNS, has people already doing $1 million a month. Even with the token going down, some people are still making a million a month because they had a chance to build for 2+ years in one single opportunity. WebKey DAO, they did an event in the US. The top earner from Korea, Mr. Kim, was invited to speak on stage at the event in Los Angeles. When he got on stage, he was crying. And so when I saw and heard all of that, I was like, you know what? I would have cried too. Why was he crying? He got on stage, he said he joined WebKey in the first few months when it launched, right? He didn't really understand anything about it. He was told by some people who he did business with. He saw the presentations. He understood the technology is different. It's blockchain. You control everything. No one is controlling your funds. And when he saw that, he got in. A lot of people did not believe, but he went all in. And a year and a half later, he earns over $9 million a month. I said, if you gave me 9 million for 1 month, I will cry, let alone every single month. That's why he cried on stage. Folks, this is the power of being in such opportunities that have real backing and real systems in place. Now, mechanism number four, right? We have five mechanisms. Mechanism number four, that prevents the token from being a pump and dump. Because to me, that was the most important thing Not the fact that the project will last long. Yes, it will last long, but what if people came in and it just dumped? They're not going to feel excited, right? So now when you earn your commissions, it goes into a separate wallet called the commission wallet. When you hit claim, folks, you have two of these options to choose from. But when you hit claim, this is what happens. All the funds leave and go to you. Why? There is no middleman here. There's no company, no board of administrators to decide who gets paid. It's a smart contract. But before it leaves, the system, the machine has to operate. The bodyguards of this system have to do their job. 25% withdrawal fee. Now, if this fee was going to a company or a person, I would be tight. I wouldn't like that. Half of all the fee tokens are destroyed, removed from circulation, increasing demand, moving the price, or stabilizing it when it's going down. The other half stays in the system. So think about affiliates doing 100,000 a month. So let's say 10 million a month is withdrawn. 2.5 million always stays back in liquid, meaning that well, we got to take out our 50 a day, $100 a day, our $80 a day. There is money. That's a genius system. Now, remember, it gets broken down just like that. The same bakery, your pizza pie comes available. They say, no, no, sir, no, ma'am. It's all yours, but we want to cut it up into slices because it doesn't look nice when you shove the whole pie in your face, right? So they cut it up into 10 slices. The first day, the very day that you hit claim, you receive a piece of those tokens. But here, commissions are in only 7 slices. Staking is in 20 slices. So we know that they value the affiliates who build the business. You will get your tokens at a much faster rate than if you were passive. And this alone is even an encouragement for people who are passive to put in some effort or even put their own funds under their own wallet so they can get commissions much faster, right? So the first day you get some of it, second day you do, and day 7 you're done. All of it is done. That is the mechanism here. So this is bodyguard number 4 or mechanism number 4, and this explains how it works, right? You get the whole thing. No one keeps your money. Every day, come take whatever you see and sell it, and you're done. Mechanism number 5 before we leave. When you swap your USDT for JUP, if you put $1,000 in, no one gets paid on that thousand. You make money off your whole deposit. Good thing to have. Now, folks, when you decide to sell the coin, this is not withdrawal, this is selling. Selling the coin for USDT, which you should and you can. Guess what happens? There's a 5% sell tax embedded in the token. Even if you just bought it and never staked it, the minute you click sell on the exchange, there's a 5% sell tax. And that is mechanism number 5. It's an income generating source. It goes to the ecosystem, not company, not person. And the 1.5 is shared by those V10 pluses. There's a global pool where 1% of all the ROI earned. So if the whole company has 10 million and earns, for example, 100,000, 1% of that 100,000 is divided to the V10 plus every day. So as this thing grows, the pool grows and all of these rewards get much larger. So we have to work fast so we can be a part of all of it, right? So this brings us to the end of the presentation, folks. I hope I did my job here today to provide you with information. Once again, everything you can fact check yourself. We know the exchange is a multi-billion dollar corporation. They already do today alone 10 billion in trading volume, right? We know they have a blockchain, real technology on which this ecosystem we discussed was built on. You can go use all the stuff they have here. This is the real deal, right? We know that, and before I even get into it, folks, if you're an investor and you're here, you need to get excited. If you're an affiliate marketer and you're here, you need to get excited. If you're anyone who has crypto and you're looking for a way to spend it, you should get excited. This is a product in this project that is already live. Utility number 1 is live. It's not a tomorrow thing. Now, this prior, we get physical crypto cards. I want you to know this. It's not a virtual card. They will mail you a physical card for free. You heard it right, for free. What do you have to do? Because there's always a catch. What do you have to do? This is a Visa business card. We just got information that the bank behind this card is going to activate their IBAN and SWIFT code for the JBank community members who have been given this card. Everyone who gets this card will now be able to wire fiat and receive fiat in multiple currencies and just instantly swap it to crypto or vice versa. For now, it's only crypto, but I believe maybe 2, 3 months or less, the IBAN goes live. Okay, so right now, what do we have? When you stake at least 300 tokens, each token is $9.70 a token. Let's call this $3,000 only. Just $3,000 into a 365-day contract. It pays you 0.9% a day, $800 a month. You get the card for free. You can spend that $800 a month on your card. Think about it. You are banking for free. Now, this card, you can top it up with USDT, either BEP20, ERC20, or Tron. Also, soon, JUP you can spend. They're integrating all of that. Transaction fees, only 1.5%. Not 5%, not 10%. 1.5. Every month, you only spend $1 to maintain your card. Your spending limit, this is per transaction. You can do multiple transactions a day of 20,000. Your limit per day, $500,000. You can use it at any ATM in the world and you can pull out cash. Folks, this is a big reason you should be excited because this alone is a marketing tool to bring in top tier investors who are looking for a way to spend their crypto without going through the exchanges and the banks for exchange fees, which are heavy, and capital gains taxes, which are heavy. Especially in Europe, people are looking. These MiCA laws are not easy. They are looking for a way. So who's this bank? GAT Bank. You download their app. It's called GAT Pay. Available in the Apple Store and Google Play Store. Yes, USA can KYC. We have checked already. Canada can KYC. Folks, this is the real deal. For myself, I'm very excited about this. So this is GAT Bank. You can go read more about them. Started in 2021. They have all their licenses, folks, all their relationships. That's your SWIFT code. Okay. They actually help businesses and investors trade securities, trade derivatives, use payment systems, and use their banking service. So it's all in one bank. And they would not partner with any, flimsy, un, unregulated or not well-structured company. They need real people, real systems to partner with. And they came to partner with JBank. Why? Because of Ju.com. So, folks, there's a lot going on, and I just don't want to keep going, but I want to say thank you for your time. I really appreciate everyone that made it on here. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so we can take some Q&As.